Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shakti from the Chicago camp coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And as you can see by the events going on in the world, there are many countries heading towards a second lockdown if they're not already locked down. We have Australia, Canada, I believe maybe Italy, Greece, Spain. I know China and Japan just recently talked about going back into lockdown again. So you have all these countries, as I said before, if they're not already locked down, they're heading towards a lockdown or another lockdown. And if you've studied the pattern of behavior throughout history, whatever goes on overseas, it happens first and then it comes here to America. And we have all seen the devastating effects that the first lockdown had on the entire world, minus Sweden, of course. And the fallout that happened afterwards. And what I can see now is that America is also gearing up for another lockdown. As you can see, they're starting to bring that rhetoric back around with the VidCo variant running rampant. Okay, you have to wear more. You have to go back to the mask mandate. So this whole thing is coming back around once again. And I'm here to tell you that when America gets locked down for the second time, that will officially be the death blow of America, the nail in the coffin. It'd be the equivalent of taking somebody off of life support. When this country gets locked down again, that will be it. It's going to be great despair, great anguish. People will be in a very pitiful case. Businesses will be done. The dollar will be crushed. Like I said, when America locks down for the second time, that will be the nail in the coffin. This place is done. That's why when we go to Isaiah, where it says, howl for her, take balm for her. Jeremiah 51:8. And it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. And it is. Why? Because you have 0% interest rates. You have bailouts to infinity. You have money being printed out of thin air with stimulus checks. And then on top of that, you have food shortage, droughts, heat waves, and then you're about to add a second lockdown to all of this. This place is finished. And it says that howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. Because you got all these economists and these regular Joe six-pack people panicking and scrambling, trying to figure out what they can do to make things better for themselves. How can they hedge against an incident that is going to bring on so much calamity? But the thing is, you can't. And it says we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Okay, you cannot help what is about to happen. These elites are determined to recreate the world in their own image, a godless, transhumanist, technological, digital era. With them being on top and you being a permanent slave. Feudalism 2.0. That is the goal. And they will not stop until this is accomplished. But the only way to accomplish this is for this country to be locked down again. And it says, forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even unto the skies. Because you can tell that, as the scripture says, we are in a time unlike ever before. The scripture says he appointed the bounds, I believe that's in Job, that he cannot pass. It says, Job 14:5, it says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So the reason why these things are speeding up, the reason why we're heading towards another lockdown is because it is time for this place to come to an end. As the scripture says, that's why he's coming down with that great wrath, Revelation 12:12. And it says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, who's bad Uncle Esau, is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And part of this great wrath is locking America down again. People are already tense. They're angry. Their anxiety is at an all-time high. They're depressed. They're lonely. They're sexually frustrated. They're miserable, unfulfilled. And you have all this happening right now. Imagine what's going to happen when this place gets locked down again. This is all part of that great wrath. And they are fully prepared. They know what's going to happen when they lock this country down again. They know exactly what's going to happen once they lock this place down again. All hell is going to break loose. And see, when this second lockdown comes in and it completely crushes the economy, it will leave the people vulnerable to just submit to whatever, because there's going to be nothing left. When you go to Ecclesiastes 12:12, Ecclesiastes 12:3, it tells you that in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened, and the door shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low. And why is that going to happen? Because this country is going to be on lockdown again. Okay, they gave you a little bit of movement when the country got locked down the first time. As I said before, they are well prepared to handle any type of uprising that happens once they lock this down again. So this second lockdown, you might not be able to go to too many places. Things are about to get very ugly very quickly here in Babylon. And as I said, you got all this happening. This lockdown is about to happen at a time where folks are going to be getting kicked out. They have no job. Inflation is rising at an astronomical rate. There's a food shortage and there's a collapsing dollar. All these events are going to culminate together, with the main thing being this lockdown. It's going to shut everything. It's going to shut everything down. That will be the end. That's why it's very important that you get right with the Lord. As we always say on the line, make no tearing. I think those are good. But those aren't the ones that I'm looking for. Those are actually very good. Let me just go Terry. Let me put it on pause and find it real quick. Okay, I finally found it. This is Ecclesiasticus, sometimes referred to as Sirach 5 and 7. And it says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. All right, let's get that word tarrying. Tarry. To delay, to be late or tardy in beginning or doing anything. Synonyms: forestall, to put off. To linger in expectation of something or until something is done or happens. It says to abide, stray, or wait somewhere, especially if longer than planned. Synonyms: hang about, hang around, linger, loiter. To wait for, to stay or stop for, to allow, to linger. These are all good definitions. So when it says make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, it's saying do not delay, be late, or tardy in begin or doing. Well, what is that? Repenting and getting back to your heritage and following the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So when it says, let's continue to read, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, put not off, that sounds like delaying, off from day to day, delaying, forestalling. It says, for suddenly shall the wrath of Yahweh come forth. How's that? With this devil using the lockdown. And in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. And see, this is why you need to get right with the Lord. You don't want this to happen to you. You don't want to be left out in the cold. Because like they said, this is going to be a dark winter. And you don't want to be alone. As the scripture says, hey, woe to the man who doesn't have anybody to pick him up. That's a roughly parents. Let me get that. What is it? I think it's in the Apocrypha. I think it's in the Apocrypha. New Testament. Yeah, it is in the New Testament. For some odd reason, I can't find it because it talks about uh, how I think where there's two, there's heat, but woe to the man who has nobody to. Mm, you know what? That's okay. It's not the most important thing that I need to find, but the point is, you just don't want to be left by yourself. All right, you want to make sure that the Lord is covering you. Because once they lock this country down again, I think this one's going to be for a long time. They're going to double down, and they're going to double down very hard. So that's all I wanted to say on that. I hope you all were edified, and until the next time, we're going to say Shalom.